Good evening, everybody, and good morning too. This is Andrew Bhushan representing this Eureka for webinar today. So we're going to wait for another 1 minute and then probably we'll start this introduction session and then we'll talk about today's webinar altogether. So just to give you an idea is people can be able to hear me up and can they see the screen? And we have a screen here saying that why we do data warehousing and business intelligence go hand in hand. That's the title we have. So I think Raj has said hello. Hello Raj, can you see that my screen and can you hear me out clearly? Okay, good Vikas, thank you for confirmation. So what we're going to do is we're going to introduce, definitely everybody will introduce themselves, name and the background technically or academic what they're doing in, and then probably we can start the session. And also talk about my brief, introduction, what I do and how probably things is. Okay. So give me a second. So we'll definitely talk about now the introduction to each other. So probably I'll unmute people and then one by one we can talk for themselves and So Matthew, can you hear me out?
Yeah, I can hear you.
I have unmuted you. Can you speak up a little bit?
Hello, can you hear me?
I think maybe the mic is not working for Matthew. I'll try for Avimanyu. Avimanyu, can you hear me out?
Yeah, Indra, I can hear you.
Am I audible to you?
Yes, you are.
Okay, can you be a little louder, Avimanyu?
Yes, you are audible, Indra. Am I audible now, Indra?
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. That's perfectly fine. So,
Great.
okay, go ahead. Just give me a brief introduction of you. You already said you're working for one of the companies. So, what exactly your role and what you've been actually working in?
The name
And
of
what
my
is?
organization?
Yeah.
Yeah, the name of my company is Immense E-Business Solutions. Probably
Mm-hmm.
it's been more than 1 year we are into business. We are probably providing B2B database services to different organizations.
Mm-hmm.
Just for example, you need to pitch your product into the market and you want your product is probably more dependent for the IT managers. So
Mm-hmm.
you want the IT contact, the details of the IT heads in particular organization. Let's say organization whose turnover is more than 50 CR. So probably you can put up the filters accordingly, and you can get the details of key executives. This was
Okay.
just an example for the IT head. You can probably get information or the contact details for like CMO, CTOs, CIO, all the C-level people. I mean, all the top decision makers.
Okay. So, primarily, basically, are you selling those data to other people?
Yes,
Okay. 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 That's
we
perfectly
also
fine.
we also do real-time database profiling.
Okay. So,
Yeah,
is it part of your business? So, what exactly you do? What's your role in that?
I'm the director of the company.
Oh, that's good. Cool to know that. That's pretty fine. So, how are you interested to know the data warehousing? Is it something new for you, or like you being already have
Probably
some before?
probably immense business solution, what we call as immense IT. Immense IT approx 6 months ago started off with a BI. We were sales partner for SAS. Probably
Mm-hmm.
that thing didn't worked out at that time. So I was planning to get educated about this data warehousing and BI, and let's start off something again.
Mm-hmm. Good. That's not bad. It's been always good to know that. So
Yeah,
thank you very much for giving your information. So stay tuned. I probably will talk about more from a data warehouse background, what we do and how probably help you, to get the things from a
sure,
data
Indra, sure,
modeling to ETL to BI.
sure.
Okay, good.
Thank you.
Okay, I think I'll be going to the next participant. It's called Praveen. Are you there? Can you hear me out? Okay. I think he's not. Matthew, I'll try again for you. Can you hear me out? No. Okay. Lakshmi Narayan Telugu. Can you hear me out? Okay, we'll go for the next one. We got Neetu. Neetu, are you there? Is your mic working, Neetu? Seems like she's not able to hear me out something. Good, no problem. I'll go for Padma Priya. Can you hear me out?
Yes, I can. Hi.
Okay, good. So Padma, give me a little bit of your background, what exactly you do and what you're looking for on this course.
Okay. I was working in data warehousing with Informatica and Oracle a few years back, and for some family reason, I quit my job, and now I'm starting to plan my career again in data warehousing. So I thought maybe this would help me a little bit to refresh my memory and also to learn about the new things and updates in data warehousing and BI.
Okay, good to know that. It's been pretty good. So you've been already familiar with the data warehousing concepts and that stuff.
Yep. Yes.
Good. So it's going to really expedite your process because you already know the background. So probably in this course we're covering a couple of things. We'll talk about more when we go for an objective. And then you probably figure out that whether what you know that, and if you know that, it's definitely going to add on. And we'll also talk about data modeling very thoroughly. We'll create the data model, and then we go for here, load the data in the MART, and also publish BI presentation or a dashboard out of it. So it's going to be sequential training where you really understand the concepts, model, ETL, and BI. So it's not in detail, but definitely going to be, even you learn 50%, you're good to go. So thank you for joining in and thanks for giving us an opportunity to show you some demo on this. So stay tuned on this. You're welcome.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, we got Prakash. Prakash, can you hear me out? Okay, no problem. So Prakash is not there. Pramod, is that you can hear me out? Pramod Kumar Pal. I think no. Okay. How about Rahul Sinha?
Hello.
Yeah, Rahul,
Hello.
go ahead. Yes,
Yeah.
we can hear you.
Yeah, hi, this is Rahul here.
So give me a brief of you, what exactly you do and what is your background technically, non-technically, whatever you have.
Yes. Currently I was working rather, means I left HCL Technologies a few days back, and I am into SAP basically from past few years. I am into SAP data migration, wherein we have used Informatica as a one of the tools. Means I'm not all into hands-on into Informatica, but I have a little bit of idea on the Informatica and want to explore it furthermore, the data warehousing concepts as well as the Informatica or the ETL perspective, because in the next company I will be going, I will be working as a lead, so I need to know the
No problem.
Yeah.
That's clear. So good to know, Rahul. Thank you very much and give an opportunity here. Stay tuned. We'll talk about more on this. So we'll go for next, Raj. No problem. I'll just unmute Mr. Raj. Raj Kumar, are you? There's a voice issue coming in. No problem. Is Mr. Sam is there? A couple of places people have some voice issue. I don't know why. Sheikh Ibrahim, can you hear me out? I can. Can you speak up as well? I've already unmuted you. Mike. Okay. Still, he has a mic issue. Good to know that. No problem. I think Santha J. Kumar. No problem, Sheikh. That's fine. Mic has always been an issue sometimes, so that's not an issue. Okay, Shanta says, yes, you're audible, but I don't have a mic in my desktop. No problem, my dear friend, that's perfectly fine. He says that he joined this session to know more about BI. I'm not in job right now. I have 15 years experience, lastly worked with Polaris and plan to pursue my career now. Hence, upskilling myself is the hot topics. Good, Shanta. I like the spirit, man. It's been pretty good. Even having a 15 years IT experience, you still want to learn. That's really give me a very positive approach. Thank you very much for joining in here, and thank you for giving us an opportunity. Cool. I got more people, so let's talk about 1 more minute for. I got Shobana. I don't know Shobana. I'm Shobhan. Shobhan Kumar. Can you speak, Shobhan Kumar?
Hi Indra, I'm Shobhan.
Hi Shobhan. Thank you for joining in. Give us more information from your side.
I'm working for Deloitte and I'm currently working on Informatica and Informatica Cloud. Yeah, I just wanted to know, the concept that the subject line, why do data warehousing and business intelligence go hand in hand? That actually pulled me, and that I just wanted to know how you're going, how the data warehouse and business intelligence are.
Good to know. That's fine. So we'll here to discuss more about it. So that's perfectly fine. Then you've given a good input that you already work for Informatica. That's pretty fine. Good to know. So let's catch up more on this topic. So stay tuned. Thank you for joining in.
Thank you.
Mr. Srinath. Mr. Vikash, can you hear me out?
Yep, I can hear you.
Okay, good. Thank you for joining in, Vikas. Give us more about your information, what you do, and what exactly the background you have.
Sure. I have around 11 plus years of experience. I'm working for a advisory board. It's a product-based company. So I've worked with Ericsson also in the past. So more or less, these have been products with data warehousing background. But I have been on the side of using more of open source, using Java and Oracle. Oracle obviously not the open source, but these are primarily the areas that I have been touching on. Reporting and Informatica and ETL kind of tools I have not had the opportunity to hands-on. So I'm kind of interested to move over on that side, especially because I have the domain knowledge of it. So I'm looking forward to see what are the opportunities available and what I can pick up from here.
Good, because I think this is one of the great things that even having experience in product-based company, you're being open to learn. I really like this spirit, and people, even industry, everybody, even us, me and you, everybody learning day by day. So welcome to this demo, and let's have more idea on this. Stay tuned on this. Thank you very much.
Sure.
I got last guy is called Shiva. Shiva, can you hear us?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Your voice looks like more solid. That's very much. Thank you for joining in. Give us more idea about you.
Actually, I am basically into the healthcare industry, and right now we don't have any proper BI tool into this one. I wanted to learn how the BI tool will help us in the healthcare industry.
Makes sense. So I think this is the right demo for you guys. So good. Thank you for joining in, and let's have more information and what we go hand in hand in the reverse and BI together. So thanks a lot for taking your time, Shiva, from your daily routine and you joining us. It's being appreciated, and we respect the time and this spirit you're joining in. Thank you very much. Stay tuned. We'll start now. Thank you very much. I got Sumant. Sumant, can you hear me out? Okay, no problem. So guys, thank you very much. I would say and appreciate people who have been joining in and joined so far. Having said this, today's people have been quite busy, even taking on the busy schedule and taking off few time, and here you've been doing, understanding and attending this session. So let me talk about more about this session, a bit of myself and what this session will give you back to yourself once you have already joined in here. Okay. So given an opportunity that you can ask a question in between, or we'll have a question and answer session at the end, or in between if you ask any question, I'll try to give you an answer then and there, and else we'll do the end of the session, in the question and answer session. So good to know, and again, thank you very much for giving an opportunity, and let's start it. So we'll talk about on a data warehouse, and definitely in a BI goes definitely hand in hand. So what do you actually it means? What we can cover? So we'll talk about what is a data warehouse and business intelligence, what is data warehouse architecture, what is the data modeling? So introduction of ER-Win, it's a tool which is coming from for a data modeling perspective. Then we talk about Talend, which is open source ETL tool, which does the data migration, data integration from different sources. Then a BI, which publishes the same data into the dashboards. So see, the reason it goes hand in hand, it is actually a kind of, you have an architecture, then you got a data, and then it goes to a publishing a report. So it goes hand in hand. So that's the logic behind that. So let me give you a brief introduction of me, what I do, and what is my background altogether. So actually, I'm a technical architect as well as a trainer. So I do training in terms of it's my passion. Probably it's not my full-time job. So I work for one of the company, and currently, and the last company which I work for is Wipro Technologies. You can see here. I'm actually an MCA background, and I'm a gold medalist in 2001 batch. I did work for Nucleus Software, London RBS, SAS US, Central US, HSBC UK, Hewitt again US, Gensel India and Australia, South Africa, Oracle India and Singapore, Wipro Technologies India, Saudi Arabia, and definitely Africa. Definitely the last project which I did in my company was the Disney. If you come to the BI, dashboards or other stuff, so what are the tool I've been working in? It's like you can see almost 12 kind of a dozen, 1 dozen tool I work for. IBM Cognos, SAP, MicroStrategy, MSBI, Oracle BI, Pentaho, ClickView, Tableau, SAS. Believe it or not, all the most of the BI I've been working in. If you talk about ETL, I work for Informatica, Oracle Data Integrator, SQL Server, SSIS, Talend, which is an open source, which we'll talk about today, and then SAP Warehouse and a bit of IBM Data Stitch. Oracle and SQL is my databases which I've been working in. So you have the custom application, guys, .NET, Java, and a few of them I probably know it, but from the overview level, not from a depth programming level. So that's all from the introduction level of mine. So I'll not take much of your time and talk about myself. It's basically nothing more about know about. Yes, I've been there in data warehouse and BI close to 15 years plus experiences I'm carrying in, all for data warehouse and BI. So you can see that all the technology which I've shown you. This is actually my life so far in the career I have been gone through. So we'll talk about now what is data warehouse. So people who have been already know what is data warehouse and how being already what is the business intelligence, that's perfectly fine. If not, it's going to help them that what is actually the data warehouse is looking for, what is the data warehouse being meant for, and how you think of it goes hand in hand. So let's now start and let's talk about more from a data warehousing concepts. So, to be very honest, if you talk about W.H. Inman, he is the father, I would say, who have actually generated and initiated and founded then what is data warehouse is all about. So honestly speaking, data warehousing, it's going to be a kind of a separate data warehouse, a database from operational data. That's what he's saying. Loosely speaking, a data warehouse refers to a database that is maintained separately from an organization's operational database. So any database which you're using in production, let's say you actually going for a departmental store, you're buying everything, does the invoicing, and then you do a reporting. So when the invoicing happens, those are an operational database. When the reporting happens from a warehouse. Officially speaking, if you talk about if the data warehouse, how this official definition says, a data warehouse should be a subject-oriented, integrated, time-oriented, and non-volatile collection of data. And the purpose of those data to do a support to a management to make a decision that what had happened, where it's going to be happen, why it happened that. So everything that the question get answered by this kind of data warehouse. So first of all, let's talk about what we're talking about. So we're talking about properties of your data warehouse, which talks about a subject-oriented, integrated, non-volatile, and time-variant. So let's talk about one by one. See, when it comes to subject-oriented, data is categorized and stored by a business subject rather than an application. So if you can see an application, so here is the OLTP application and here is the data warehouse subject. So when I say OLTP stands for online transaction processing. And so any production data today is basically online transaction processing system, so which is called OLTP application. So let's talk about entity, equity plans, you talk about insurance, you talk about loans, shares and savings. So these are all actually application oriented data, and each application has its own data. For example, equity will have equity information, insurance will have information, saving will have a saving information, but actually what we're doing is overall we're talking about a data warehouse which has catering all of the information and so creating one of the subject area called customer financial information. So what we're doing is we're taking all the information from equity, insurance, loans, saving and shares, and actually you probably want to do a dashboarding reporting on the customer's finance. So here is the data warehouse come in place. Being an application, you want 2, 3, 4, 5 different places and you have to integrate it in one place and create a data warehouse. So that's called a subject oriented. Now when you say integrated, what does integrated means? So honestly speaking, now if you say savings, let's say saving becomes head, current account becomes the body, and then the lower part becomes loan. So these are OLTP application. If you integrate them all, it becomes a customer, and that is a data warehouse. So it's very much the same, different data coming in, joining at one place to really solve one of the business solution. It's called a financial data. So data on a given subject is defined and stored once. So that's what it's called integrated. Now let's talk about more from time variant. So what happens when you go for production, the data comes every day. You actually do any changes and data really reflects time by time. Whereas if you talk about here, we take a data on a monthly basis, Jan, Feb, March, quarter 1, quarter 2, quarter 3. It's actually time variant. It's not basically go any changes in your production data. It is actually taking a data monthly level. So your report also goes on a monthly level. So it's like it's taking a kind of a series of a snapshot, and they're representing of a period of time. So it's not basically kind of changes over the period, over the time. It basically comes with the period, monthly, quarterly, yearly. That's what the data they keep it in. Now, non-volatile. When you say non-volatile, if you're saying these are the volatile, where you do insert, update, delete on operational side, and this is in warehouse side. You only load the data at intervals like monthly, weekly, and then you read them up. So you're not making a change in a production. Typically, you go in the production system. You make changes daily basis, half an hour basis, 10 minutes, 15 minutes. But if you talk about a kind of a warehouse, it's basically a non-volatile. So Srinivasan has asked me which is the better procure them on one day basis. Well, on the day basis, we still talk about a data warehouse. So we'll have a day. So that means day we actually doing a summary of a day basis. So for example, how much you done as sales every day. So total sales you do in data warehouse. So still you get the data and you do a complete data here on daily basis and put them in warehouse. That's what the aggregation comes across. I hope I've answered your question, Srinivas. Thank you very much. Good. So going further, we'll talk about capturing data. So how do you capture the data in your data warehouse and on your production system? So to be very honest, Venkat has also asked a question. So where is the sales coming from the customer into financials data? Okay, you're talking about if you took for a first time. So here you have a savings, you have a current, and you have a loans. So you do a daily data in terms of what are the savings happens every day, what are the currents happens every day, right? So it's not the sales, it's going to be financial data here. Fine. So it's not that we're talking about sales. I've given you one of the example for a sales. You can have a savings, current account, and loans daily coming in. So you do a savings, right? You do the ATMs every day, and you get your credit and debit balances. So financial data talks about what is the total credit and what is the total, debit, opening balance and closing balance, which is coming from our data warehouse. Does it make sense, Venkatesh, to give you an answer with? Good. Okay. Now let's talk about more into this. So now let's talk about how we change the data in data warehouse and a normal one. So what happens is you normally take changes when you have a first time load and you have a, kind of a daily load. Fine. So when you load first time, you can see that it's completely blank. And then you load first time, that's also called initial load or historical load. Whereas if you say refresh every day, that's called as incremental data load, which is called a delta load as well. So you take it all the production data and not every day. So whatever you load at once, only the changes you take it from the different. Let's say number of employee you have 20 today, and tomorrow the 4 employees more added to your employee in the organization. So you will take only 4 of the information and put it in data warehouse employee dimension. not the 24 at every day. Okay. So how these are the basically in one. Now let's talk about what Ralph Kimball is another father who understands data warehouse pretty well, and he have written a couple of books, and he said data warehouse it's basically is kind of a very lower level. Actually, it's going for top to bottom, not to bottom to top. He's saying the data warehouse is taking all the data in data mart within the enterprise and actually stores the data for dimensional model concepts, whereas they're talking about only reporting data, not the data coming out from different sources and keeping step-by-step staging area and so on. He actually is talking about a KPI base and only reporting data. So they are basically dimensional model. So let me talk about how and what the differences between them and how probably they have been looking in. So here, if you talk about Inman, we talk about, okay, let's talk about where we can have a strategic data. Take all the data at one place and then go for a data mart. So data warehouse and data mart. Data mart is a subject of data warehouse. So data warehouse, we take every data and keep it at one place. Where Kimball says tactical. Data integration requirement, it is basically enterprise-wise, because we talk about entire company, sales, operation, finance, all the things we're doing in. Whereas if you talk about individual business requirement, that's the Kimball talks about. Okay, let's talk about a sales, let's talk about a finance. So one subject area he talks about. So, you know, to be very honest, if you say data structure requirement, here is a multiple and the information are going to be non-metrics as well, where this is a KPI based, a business performance measures and scorecard requirement. So persistent data, here source system has a high rate of change because there are multiple sources coming in, where here will be very less because the sources are very limited. The team would be very big because you're making a big data warehouse. We're going to here being a small. Time and the cost would be longer here, whereas this is going to be smaller. So let's talk about data warehousing product. Here we have a couple of products in the data warehousing size. For a data modeling, we use in CA, basically one of the company called Computer Associates, and they have a product called eRving. It's been a couple of decades this product exists with, and it has been very successfully so far. And they also Dell has a Toad data model. So Oracle also has a data modeler which creates a data model. So I'll show you how the data model looks like. And then when you say data integration ETL tool, we have Informatica, Talent, VODS, and Oracle Data Integrator. So we'll talk about more from a Talent as an open source in this demo. Now let's talk about what is BI. BI is basically kind of techniques and kind of a tool which helps you to represent your data and get your understanding what exactly you happen, what is happening, why, what will happen, what do you want to be happen. So actually BI talks about traditional data and transform into BI, which they have multiple initiatives to measure, manage and improve their performance in usually process teams and a business unit for this specific business area. So basically it talks about a kind of things which has already happened. It's kind of a representation of your data in a kind of a pictorial way. Definitely the massaging of data and also calculation will take place in this. The categories is going to be either strategic, which is a kind of map, scorecard, report and dashboard, and either you have analytical, where you talk about more from a KPI basis. Okay, so let's talk about a bit more further. So this is what I talk about a database architecture here, guys. Okay. Now, having said ETL architecture, the ETL talks about so this is a complete data warehouse architecture where you have a different operation source, ERP, CRM, flat file. So these are the source systems, whereas ETL is a kind of process which is called E for extract, T for transform, and L for load. So extract is actually reading the source system. T, you actually putting some of the business logic to change of your data. For example, you got a sales every day, you can summarize them up with the aggregations, and L for loading in data warehouse. So when you load them, it's actually have a metadata. It has a summary data and raw data. So metadata talks about more from a data of the data. So table name, column name, size, those are called metadata. Okay, whereas now, if you say once the data is done, you got an OLAP, you got a reporting and data mining. So these are actually the outcome from a data warehouse architecture. So the sources there, ETL is there, and then you have a variety of representation of the data So there will be OLAP, which is an online analytical processes, which talks about a queue and other stuff. Then you have a normal reporting, and also you can do data mining. Okay. We'll go a little further. Now let's talk about more from a kind of an ERWIN tool perspective. So what ERWIN does it and what it gives you, and then we'll look after the ETL and BI. That's what the demo we're gonna have today. So ERWIN is a very popular tool, and that's been having a couple of usage of the ERWIN. It's not only that we look for. So you can see that this is the center of data management, and here there's been using for data governance, BI data warehousing. Then you have a kind of a cloud application development. So there are a couple of areas which ERWIN modeling going to be used now, and we've been using it for data modeling, especially for dimensional modeling. So we'll show you how it happens. Okay. Okay. So this is what is a physical model. So that's what we normally talk about from the kind of a model. So let me show you what are the data model we can look like. Why do we use this data model? It's most important. So if you do not want to write and create table stuff manually, and then the problem is when you create manually, you can't think a lot of things together. So we use a data model, a tool which helps us to do a pictorial way of representation of your model, and I'll show you one of them which I have just created. So this is the area, you can see that. So what we're looking, there's actually a logical and there's a physical. So there's a logical model and there's a physical model of your, kind of a model. So we got a customer, we got a time, we got a product, and we got a location, and this is a sales fact we're using in. So this data is actually this is basically gonna use for creating a dimensional model of yours. So the benefit of this that you can have this. Once you have a pictorial way of doing this, you can simply go and do when you do one of the options called forward engineering and reverse engineering. So when you are not logical, you can use the existing reverse engineering. So you can connect with any databases and take the data in, and you can see that number of table coming in. And forward engineering, you simply go and write the same the way you create it. It will actually publish a script which I'm going to show you now. See that it creates as create tables, create indexes, anything, whatever you have done, and joining and all. So the moment you do, you take this up. You can also save this in a .SQL somewhere, and you can run them up if it is needed. Okay. So that's the reason we're using a data model here. So we create the model, and we can simply go ahead. So this is what you simply click it here, and you can write that the table name. And then after you also do a relationship. So you can check that we have a relationship which talks about 0 to 1, 1 to any. And this is a kind of a keys. Right. So this what is says this is the attributes and the primary key, foreign key. So you can define them up. See that also shows the foreign keys here. So it's important to define your data model despite of going and writing create table and all. You probably use them here. Okay, so good to go. This is a data model, and it's actually a CA product, which is the community edition. It comes free of cost. You can simply download and start using it. So it has been not chargeable, so that's so far. So guys can use it easily. It's free of cost available. Fine. Coming back to the presentation, guys. So having said that, you have already seen that these are important stuffs, and you should be actually knowing it, how it's happening, and what is happening in terms of a data warehousing in a data modeling tool. Fine. So Vikas is asking what is the difference between logical and physical. So when you go for data modeling, Vikas, there's a 3 stages: conceptual, logical, and physical. Conceptual, we design only entity. Logical, we design entity and bit of attributes and also relationship. Whereas physically, you define the name, indexes, primary key, couple of foreign keys, and also you got a partitioning and the actual script comes to the physical size. I hope I've answered your question, Vikas. Good. Thank you, Vikas, for confirming back. So let's talk about an ETL tool, bit of them. What is the ETL tool? We're going to use it here. So we'll be using. So let's talk about also a bit about the open source, and then the why we talk about open source and ETL tool. How going to be open source coming in, and how we've been using it in the industry today. So if you talk about open source and commercial ETL, Informatica going to be definitely commercial licensed. So license detail, licensing model, open core model, no charge extra by CPU cycle, the open source. Commercial core model uses, the based on CPU and per user person, the licensing come in. Licensing channel would be GNU public license, Apache license, because it's an open source where this is a vendor specific. Cost differentiation, definitely it's going to be lesser than a normal, commercial, maybe 30% less or 60% less. Specifically, if you saw, so it's been definitely available. The advanced feature is completely available. Type of support, there will be a couple of community, couple of people supporting this, and also a company gives you a support at certain extent. So open source has been definitely available, freely available in terms of Tailwind. They're not charging you a single penny on that. You can go and download it. So let's talk about Tailwind, how it looks like, and we're going to work about a Tailwind 5.0x. Basically, it's going to 5.5. So this Tailwind has an ETL, tool. So ETL is extract, transform, and load. So you read the data, and then you transform it, and then you probably load it to the target. So that's what we use it. So Tailwind data, this is called Open Studio for data integration. Operates of code generator, production data transformation scripts, and underlying programs. They are basically written. You can also write this in code in Java. So this is actually built in Eclipse. The program, the tool is an Eclipse based, and actually you can publish a job on in a Python or a Java languages. So since this is the Tailwind history, so start in 2002, and then if you ask me today, you have they got MDM product, they got a kind of data integration product. They are also in cloud, very much available right now these days. So they've been pretty open, and people are coming in and using in Tailwind pretty much. If you can see that Tailwind, the global partners is Capgemini, Accenture, CSC, Logical, and Sopra. So it's a global names across the world. If you say Americas and the Europe, so these are the actually companies who've been doing a partner with them. So over 200 globally, and then you got any size, any type, and they are certified partners. Okay, so now we talk about our customers here. What all customer Tailwind is having? These are the bigger customer. You can see that finance size. Then you got services, manufacturing, retail, public sectors. See, most of the people using Tailwind for their ETL perspective. Right now. Rahul says, what is the advantage using an Informatica over in a SAP BODS? What is the better open source license one? Well, when you're going for an open source one, you're not paying for license. Second, it's being now the code is pretty much available. They have a portability of Java, so if people have a Java background, they can easily work upon. And because it's not costly, so you're saving your license. So you're still using in production, but if you talk about enterprise level, definitely you have to pay for it. Okay. They have application and integration. They got a data quality product. They got a data integration product, which will be using an ETL. They also in MDM actually. So you can see that what's the offering. So if you can see here, enterprise. This is what you have to pay for. That's very important. There are open source studio available for data integration and MDM and the EBS and so on. So we'll be using a kind of a data integration tool which is free of cost available. So you see that commercial license, subscription model, and gold support for the enterprise, and there will be a Tailwind platform which is bundled towards a couple of products together. So I'm talking about more from the product part of the Tailwinds. Now this is going to be a Tailwind overview. So let's go and show you something, my friends. So I'm going to start this, and also I'm going to use the Tailwind I'll be starting the tailend from here. So this is the tailend first screen where you actually going to be using the tailend for, you have to create the job. That job going to take source transformation and also the transformation and load the data. Vijay is asking, tailend can be used for AWS like Oracle. That's what we're using in Vijay. I'll show you how we're going to use it. Thank you very much. Venkat says, what is MDM? MDM says Master Data Management. Is basically part of your EDW, Enterprise Data Warehousing, where you do a common job code or a customer code, where you have a lot of duplicates together for a product code and customer code. So they create a single code for using it for their enterprise level. Okay. So we're going to use it here. So this is the Oracle database, my dear friend, and then I'm using an Oracle database developer, which is an interface. So I'll show you how the data loads up actually into the sales table. So we have a sales table, guys. Okay. So let's truncate this table for a while where you can show you. Now there should be no data at all. That's fine, that's perfectly fine. So using the existing tailend, project, so you can see that is being actually executing this product. So we'll be using a kind of a flat file, and then we'll load the data from there. So this demo talks about more from a flat file, reading your data and then putting into the Oracle database tables. So this is where you're opening an open, as I said, tailend Open Studio. Fine. So here I'm going to use the existing one. So if you can see that this is all the jobs which is being already written there. This is the jobs which is being already here. So the use of this particular tool is primarily for data loading. So the most important part is how you're going to do the data loading. Is most important part is like here we have a metadata. So you import the flat file and then you have a connection which is a DB connection, and then you can load the database directly. So this is all the files are coming in. So here is one file. I've used it one of the aggregate function for calculating a data table. So first of all, let me talk about. So you got a flat file, you can import them up. You got a DB connection. So let's talk about this example where you have an employee table, and I'm saying a total of the group by. So okay, I'm talking about the employee table. Okay, and then I got one of the table, which is this. So now it says, can it load data into SAP or just transformation legacy data from? Rahul, we can load anywhere, any data, especially from the database connector is concerned. So we'll use one of these sessions. I'll take one of the scenario. So actually we're taking again the same table, these tables. So what we're doing is we're looking for a kind of a total salary paid for each individual department. So we'll have, you can see that we have a department and we got a salary paid individually to the employee. So let's go and see that how it really works. So here what I've done is this is the employee table, right? You can see that, and here I have an aggregator. So you can see that you have an aggregator where you have a department number which you do that, and then you got a total salary here, and then you got a target which is the total target. So those things are coming in, both will be imported, both tables at the DB connection level. You can see that. So here you have all the table coming in. See that you got employee table, and then you got your target table. This is what we're talking about. So if you can see that, it actually gives you the detail of what are the columns and how the things looks like. Everything gives you the detail here. Fine. So here it's basically a table, not the flat file, my dear friends. So we are talking about one employee table, and as a scenario, as I said, that will have an employee table. We have employees having a salary in each department they are in. I'm looking for a department total salary which I'm actually paying to them. So what I'm going to do is, this is what I'm running with. So that's what actually I'm looking in. So this basically taking a data from an employee table and then putting a data into this table. Okay, so I'll simply go and click and run. See, that is basically saying, okay, I'm going to generate, I'm going to build them up. So it's just generating itself and it's building a job for you, which has been already created before. So what it does, it's going to use your aggregation transformation. So transformation is basically, as I said, is a business logic taking over that your source data and then you are having it. So you can see that saying connected, and then it says 13 is input rows and 3 is an output row. So let me go and check. So here I'm saying all of the records. So let me do a kind of a count where I can get to know whether it was a 13 or not. So let me check whether it's correctly saying right or wrong. So yes, the source was 13. So it mentioned 13 records, and now target, they have exported it. See that they got 10, 20, and 30. So it's 3 records. So that's what has been working in. So guys, this is how you do that. You import the tables and then you simply use the transformation. So you have an ETL transformation coming here, right? So those things you can use. This is connection, this is map. So all of stuff is coming in here. So the moment you do more, kind of a ETL, now this is a business intelligence, this is a big data. So they got a 601 transformation altogether. There's a data quality. So a couple of things is there altogether. So this was a kind of an ETL tool which we've been using in, which is coming free of cost, and this is called a Tailwind Open Studio for data integration. You can see that they've been written in Eclipse, and the platform going to be a Java. You can also use a Java, and also you can put it into the Eclipse. It's called Python. The other language is a Python. So you got a Java and Python, both of the languages they can really do a platform. So that's all from the Tailwind side. Let's go to the presentation once again. So we're talking about more from presentation in terms of now what next. You have a data model, you got ETL done, and then you want to do, you go for a reporting. So that is the next step, which is the last step. So here we're going to use a Tableau data visualization tool. This tool is basically to help you to produce the data into the reporting section, whether it's going to be dashboard, analytical. And the best part is they're using a flat file, Excel sheet, an Oracle database, or any kind of a database connectivity. They got more than 5,000 connectivity over the globe right now. So anything like a web services or anything you wish to like to calculate with them, you can go ahead and do that. Okay. So this Tableau software you can see here, this talks about more company. So we'll talk about, they're based on the Seattle right now, and and they got a lot of customers. The bigger customer, you can see that more than 4,000 strong customers in all the different verticals. You can see that those are still small in numbers and size, honestly speaking. But this is Now let's talk about a product. They have a Tableau desktop, server, Tableau reader, and Tableau public. So public is completely free of cost, where these are trial basis and being licensed basis rather. So desktop is basically you can create an ad hoc and also explore them up. The web, you basically takes the same analytics over the web, and you can use in a browser to see that. This is a kind of reader. It's basically kind of a desktop which has been shared locally. And they do not need actually kind of paid services. This is again a free of cost. Now Tableau public is being definitely a free of cost available. That's what is being important. So that's what is very important to understand. Why it's being very popular? Because of data visualization. So they have a personal use on desktop. business intelligence dashboard and report, easily in a web browser embedded in their products. Any product you have, any web browser, you can simply call them up. Public on website and blogs, Tableau Public is easily available. So this is what it's going to look like. So I'm going to show you that, and we'll create you a small report on top of that. I'm not taking much of your time today. So we've seen the data model, so where you can go and create a data modeling. Then you talk about an ETL where you created a model, you want to load them up, and then after loading a data, you publish the report. So this is actually a professional edition. Actually, it's being licensed one, honestly speaking, version 9.0. So we'll take a look of small report, a dashboard, or maybe small reporting. So as you can see that it's, if you see a public, you will get only 1, 2, and 3, and there you cannot able to connect the Oracle databases. Not only the enterprise or professional level or desktop can really connect with. So see that you have already using so a couple of things. You have Access and other stuffs. So let's go and create some data reporting from Excel. So you got sales data. Click open. So it's an end memory, so it will definitely load your data. Can you see that? Processing request, connecting to the database, and executing query. See that it's showing you the reports. The benefit out here, you can go and if you don't want this transaction name, you can rename as TXN and DAT, or maybe TT or DAT if you want, if you wish. So product price, if you don't want to write product price, you can see this is the product, you can say revenue if you want. Fine. So you can payment type, you can simply write only a type. I don't want to write a payment type at all. The type looks like okay to me. So it depends. If you want to rename it, you can rename them. City, state, country, accounts, last login, and you can see this is the table. Now you got something like a connection, live and extract. So if you have live data, it's basically taking in without any failure, without any extra offline connectivity. It's an online data, so anything changes, it automatically reads from the live itself. So normally you're being using in for the live data. Extract talks about offline data. Extra you'll have to go and extract it from the specific data model and so on. So we're using the same Excel sheet. The moment you make changes, it will automatically come here. Fine. So going to a worksheet. So we'll go in worksheet here. So the moment you click in worksheet, you can see this is what comes. It comes. You can see that pages, filters, columns, and rows. Whereas here it shows you all the dimension, and here it shows you revenue, which is measures. So let's talk about and see some of the products. So I'll see a product into the rows, and I'll see. So these are product 1, product 2, product 3. I'm taking the revenues actually coming here. So these are the revenues coming in. So if I put it in color basis, what happened? It gives you the color combination of revenue. You can still see the colors. Anyway, now let's go and see. I want to see by a specific city or maybe a country. So city going to be more. So let's talk about the state here. You can see the state is coming in. If you click, it goes to a city level of the data, and if you put the country, so it's like a country, city. So I'll take it off. You can remove when you drag it off. So let's talk about all of them as a hierarchy. So see that custom, kind of country product sales. So what you can do is you can also take about kind of a product date. So I'll take it for a specific year. So this is a year of the particular country and then the product. So I can also take country here. So I'll say this is the country, these are the product, and this is the particular date. So we'll talk about this bit of a date, quarter, and also we got a month. Okay, having said that, we got a couple of different kind of charts where you can see your data coming in a different way. So you can see that January, how much is there. So let's not get too much. We'll remove this. I'm just taking off. I'm also taking off. And okay, I'm not taking for an yearly basis or product by country. So let's talk about only kind of a yearly product. So 2009, 2000, you can see that 9. So this is maybe on a year. So if I say all of the year, let's talk about filters, how many years we have. We have only 1 year, my difference. So it's the reason saying 9 of the product 1, product 2, product 3. So the moment you click, it also show you the quarter 1. As of now, they have only quarter 1 data. Now let me show you something back to you. So as I said, you got a country, so click it a country here, or maybe the state into the filter site. So the moment you click and filter, it gives you all of the countries. So you'll say, okay, I want to go for a couple of states, not the all. If this is all, this is none. So you can select few of them. The moment you select few of them and you say, okay, it actually impacts here. So these actually cities or states, they have only these kind of product they're selling in. So this gives you a revenue by product, by state, and also if you want to go ahead and see more kind of things, so you have to just, it's more or less analysis. If you can also see that something like measurement, you want to see an average sales, you can click an average, it shows you the average sales. Good to know from here. And you can also talk about, for example, name. So it can be a customer name or something. So here, these are the customer actually, and this is the average revenue coming out for that particular product. For say 3K, 1K. So this is what is the revenue coming in. It also gives you the see that January, and it's saying Andrew product 1 1200 average revenue. So despite average, if I go for a sum, I can still go and see that a sum of revenue. So this is what I'm getting it. I can also see in a different way of looking at. So these are the name of the customer, and this is the sales. So despite of month, I'll take out a month from here, to be very honest. And if you can see a page, this is a page label. So this page label talks about there's a product one, an opportunity to have a filter on a specific page. So if you take out a page in the product and take your city at the page level, so this will give you, if I say filter and add, so you can go and say, I don't want to take all of the city, it's going to be huge. So you can filter them up and say, okay, so here is actually the city come in. So you got only one city as of now, there's no filter, so still you can show them up. Okay. So use all of them, for example, or maybe select all from the list. So select all. The moment say okay, see that it's coming in. So you can say next, 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 give you that. And the best part is you can also say I don't want to use this, use the start value. It automatically starts up. Okay, so here actually the way you can see that you can have this things going on at the same time. You don't have to choose them. You can stop in between, or else you can simply start this. This is automatic. You can start them. See that? You don't have to look at something like this. So this feature is actually auto selection. It's auto things. You can simply do and see. You can do a labeling if needed. You know how you want to present them. You can do a font and there's coloring and so much other stuff if you want. So anyway, so this is what is overall how you create a dashboard. So you have created one report and then you have another report. You simply create a dashboard. So this is sheet 1, and then if you go for a sheet 2, if you want to create a new sheet, so you can create a new worksheet. So you get another report. So let's talk about I'm saying product on the row level. Let's say talk product on the column level, and then I'm saying revenue, the colored one. And then I'm also taking only a kind of, I'll go for let's talk about year, quarter, and the month. Fine. So here, if I go for some data, let's see. I will not take this. I'll go for some other quarter, or I'll take some other maps, for example, maybe this, or this is what the data I look for. So I got 2 of the sheets, sheet 1 and sheet 2. So let's save it for a while. So I'm saying just sheet 1, for example, or maybe I'm saying a sales data. Okay. So what I've done now, let's go for complete a dashboard. So you've done, now you have sheet 1 and sheet 2. You can see that. So drag and drop sheet 1 and you can also drag it to the sheet 2. So it depends where you want to see that. So you can see 2 of the data is looking in. So this is what we've been looking in. So we created sheet 1 and we have sheet 2. You can specifically go and change the way you want to look. You want to look this way and you want to have actually coming this. So what is happening? You can see you have two of the reports coming at the one dashboard. This is how you create a dashboard. So you have a separate report coming in, two separate reports, but you can put in dashboard or all of together, and you can save them up and then probably send this dashboard to the person or the specific customers. So this is what you're doing from a Tableau itself. So we just said, are the columns classified as dimension and measured automatically by Tableau based on data types? Definitely yes. They actually look after you're actually a source which is being here, and then you look after the dimensions, and then you are the measures coming in. So that's all for today's presentation. From the you've seen a couple of things. You've seen Tableau, and then you've seen, so first you've seen data model, then you've seen the Talent and the Tableau. So this is what is basically looking forward to it. So couple of questions coming. What is the advantage using Tableau instead of commercial product? Tableau is a click and data visualization tool. It's not a normal BI tool. So data visualization tool, number one, is fast, it's open source, and it's basically the cost is pretty less, implementation is less, support is less, and also resources have been highly available in the market. So the cost level is very small. Then SAP BO takes a lot of time taking data, and ETL stuff comes in. It is SAP BO and else. This is here we got an in-memory concepts coming in, so that's the benefit out here. So good, guys. This is all from my side. So I'm free as of now. Let's talk about some question and answer session. I've asked a couple of people, especially Vikas asked a couple of questions. We did answer him. So guys, it's a question and answer session. Please go ahead and ask a question if you have anything. I'll be probably able to help you up and give you a kind of answer if you're looking for. So let me know if we can really help you in any questions. Venkat says, does BI really tell you what to do? BI only tell you what has happened so far, Venkat. It is basically your data. So taking a data, business coming out from your data, and intelligence, they'll show you where the hidden data is, what is the total money you will spend it, how does the sales, if you talk about sales things, if you say finance, what is the basically the investment you've done, how much return you're getting, what is the ROI, so and so on. Someone saying Tableau versus ClickView, which is the visualization tool is better. Well, it's been having a couple of features, good and bad. No product is good, no product is bad. So every product has its own feature into the market. Tableau has no data model and ETL aspects, where ClickView has an ETL model. So they have a data model to insert data, and they're using an online in-memory data model, which is have a QDS as a format. So there's a different way of doing, whereas a data visualization is ClickView is not good, whereas a Tableau has more a visualization, number of charts and the stuff, so more better, more quick, drag and drop. It's been pretty healthy to use it in ClickView and in Tableau server. What is the difference between local and global repository in terms of any data tool? So Rahul, when you say repository is actually metadata, local means is available to you. If you say global, that there are a lot of nodes which using the same domain. So it's basically nodes and domain concepts which you must be using in Informatica. Similar, like you have a global repository, so a couple of users can be using, and with the access and the security basis. Whereas local is only for you one server specific. Thank you so much for asking the question. We have data in three differences: data is Oracle, SQL Server, MySQL. What is your advice to go about DB and BI? So is it not that I advise, Shiva? It's basically what the customer need is, and customer probably have databases, Oracle, SQL, MySQL. So first of all, you need to go and update the customer what they want to carry on. You should use only one database, centralized database, I would say. It may be Oracle, SQL, or MySQL. It's up to the customer's own perception. But definitely, if you talk about Oracle, is more secured and more authenticated database so far. So we'll definitely say, if you ask me Oracle, MySQL, and SQL Server, I'll go for Oracle. It's not that because I like it, just because the feature it gives up. I hope I answered your question, Siva. Venkat says MySQL is open source. Yes, Venkat, MySQL has been taken by Oracle now, so it's been still an open source. Any other question, guys, that can help you out? Padma saying where will big data come in? I suppose it's just like a data warehousing. What is the difference? Well, big data is unstructured data, columnar data, which is having a velocity and variety of the data, which is being bigger in size and also in distributed in environment. Whereas data warehouse is going to be centralized environment. She was saying Lambda customer and currently my data is in 3 different databases. Okay. No problem, that's perfectly fine, Shiva. So it's probably you can get your data centralized in one. You can simply advise them up for getting more centralized data. Good guys, it's been get to know good, and I appreciated your time that you guys have come over and taken you some time for a demo, and probably this is good in terms of getting new knowledge. So probably I wish you one very important aspect: do not go and compare knowledge, compare product. You should see what exactly you're looking forward. Your vision should be, perfectly fine. Comparing product or comparing people will not give you the intention of getting your vision clear for your life. So if you're looking for some training or looking for some product, please look the feature, what the product is, and the training gives you, and points towards your vision. Do not compare the product. Do not compare the demo, and do not compare the any kind of individuals. It is good that you look after what you're looking for a vision and are you getting it or not. If not, probably you have to dive more into it. So that's all from today's session, guys, and I'm pretty happy, and I appreciated your times precious. You guys come over and given your time. Anything else I can help you with, please, I'm completely open to do that. Thank you very much, guys, for joining in today's session, and it was a pleasure, and I would be very delighted that you guys have come over and given your time, precious time rather, I would say, and to really see what is the data warehouse and BI goes hand in hand. Thank you very much. Have a nice day ahead. Take yourself, be healthy. See you soon. Bye-bye. Thank you, Rahul. Padma saying thanks for answering. It was a great presentation. Have a great week ahead. Padma, very nice to see that the comment and feedback. I wish to see you soon. Thank you very much. Take care. Bye-bye. Thanks, Rahul.